never, ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange?
Good morning. My name is Susan Reardon. I'm the staff hearing officer, and I'm calling the meeting of Wednesday, May 19th to order. Today we have 3 items on our agenda, and I'm not aware of any requests for changes to the agenda. No? Okay. I don't have any announcements of appeal. Well, we have, yeah. So we haven't had a meeting since then. Huh? Last. Date, though. Okay. On the last agenda, there was a request for a interior yard modification to allow a 3rd unit on a lot, and I actually denied that application. The address was 401.5 Old Coast Highway, and the owner has appealed that, and it's scheduled for June 10th, so at the Planning Commission. And there's been no other appeals, correct? Okay. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address the staff hearing officer on items not on today's agenda? No? Seeing no one, we'll go to the first item, which is 1517 Cliff Drive, if the applicant would like to come up to the table. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good.
Would have chosen different colors.
Anytime you're ready.
The project site, just over 12,000 square feet, is located along Cliff Drive. Current development on site consists of a single-family residence, almost 2,000 square feet here, and a driveway which accesses a 2-car carport and an open parking space. The proposed project involves demolition of the existing carport and construction of a 3-car garage in this location with 500 square feet of accessory space above. The discretionary application required for the project is a modification due to the lot size, under 20,000 square feet. Covered parking on the property is limited to 500 square feet, so this is about a 700 square foot garage. Staff's position that the proposed project actually just improves upon an existing situation which currently provides 3 parking spaces at the rear of the residence, not visible from Cliff Drive, that the architectural improvement of the new structure is definitely an improvement over what currently exists. The accessory space on top does not need a modification. And the entire proposed project meets all required yards and setbacks. Staff is asking for support of this project as it's currently designed.
Okay, as a part of your, I know my review today is just on the garage, not on the accessory space above. But as part of your plan check, are you going to require a zoning compliance declaration for the detached space?
And the zoning plans examiner will require that. Also, reduction of some hedges within the proximity of not only your driveway, but the neighbors,
right,
due to visibility issues exiting out onto Cliff Drive.
Okay, great, thank you. If you'd like to state your name for the record and have any additional comments.
Mark Griffith. I have no additional comments.
Okay, first I'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody here who would like to provide comments on 1517 Cliff Drive? No? Have we received any letters, Ron? No?
Not a single one.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing. I went out to the site and read the staff report, and I agree the location that you're proposing is the best location. It's not visible from the street.
Right.
It's back behind the house, and it conforms to all the required setbacks, and it still provides your open yard area. I had a question regarding how the project responds to the single-family design board comments regarding they had comments to the staff hearing officer, reduce the second floor plate height to 8 feet, reduce the first floor plate height to 9 feet, and lower the roof pitch to 12.
These plans reflect that change.
Okay. So here, the upper floor is 8 feet, and then here, so this is going to be reduced to 9 on
18 and 4. You know, I think that there was a 9-foot plate, but then there was the foot between the I'm not a contractor, between the accessory space,
Okay.
which is 8, and then you have 4, and there was a foot between the garage itself.
Well, I'll just,
I think this is how they.
because they said with the reduction in mass, the request for 750 square foot garage is supportable. So they feel for them to make that recommendation, that would be it. So I can just include it in any conditions. Oh, there's
Okay.
showing
And
up
here's
there.
the
Okay.
9 and 8 foot plate
All right.
heights as recommended
Great.
by the board.
Good. That was my actually only question besides the zoning compliance report, declaration. And like I said, I went to the site. I think this is an appropriate improvement for your lot. It still can meet all the other zoning requirements while providing the larger garage size. And in addition, you have an additional limitation on where you can place it because of your easement, and you're still
Right,
able.
we kicked it back.
Yeah, so you're still able to provide the setbacks, and you've put 6 feet between the easement and the garage. So I can support your request and approve your modification. I would like to put the condition that the hedge, it does represent a safety hazard.
Right.
So that the hedge along the front property line conform with Chapter 2887-170, which is the height along front property line section of our code.
Okay.
So with that, I approve your project with that condition, and my action is appealable to the Planning Commission within 10 calendar days.
All right.
They also have oversight authority of all my actions, and if they feel this warrants additional discussion before them, they have the ability to call it up during that same day appeal period.
Okay.
And if that were to occur, Ms. Malazzo would contact you.
Okay, great.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Sure. The next project is 344 La Marina Drive. If the applicant would like to come up.
Morning. This project site, located around the corner from our previous project, is located on a lot just under 7,000 square feet. La Marina, Cliff Drive is up here. Current development on this site is a single-family residence, single-story, with an attached bedroom here in the front that was the original garage for the site. This proposed project involves reconverting the original garage back to a parking space for the property, and the discretionary application required for the application is a modification. The portion of the structure here is located 15 feet from the front lot line, so conversion of this first 5 feet requires modification approval for change of use within a required yard. The second parking space being triggered and required for the project is being provided here in an interior yard, providing the 3-foot setback as allowed for development on site with a floor area ratio less than 85%. Staff's position that the current situation, which actually legally provides 2 uncovered spaces right here in the front yard, that the proposed project actually improves that current situation by providing one of the parking spaces within a structure, and then the second one here out of the front yard area. Staff is asking for support of this project as it's proposed. Oh, there is a condition of approval. Because we're only providing 1 parking space in the interior of the previously existing garage floor plan configuration, we are asking that the door be reduced to a single-car garage. That would allow 1-car garage and storage in this area, and then the second space being provided here in the setback to meet the requirement of 2 spaces for the property. Okay, so that would be a change to what's shown on these plans. The garage door being the minimum width, which I believe is like 8.5 feet.
Okay, that's good. We like that.
All right, great, thank you. Would you like to state your name for the record and add any more comments?
My name is Carlos Corona. I am the agent on the project, and I have no further comments.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who'd like to address the staff hearing officer on 344 La Marina Drive? And did we receive any letters on?
We have not.
No. I'll close the public hearing. I went out to the site. I've read the staff report and went out to the site on Monday, and I support your request to convert the space back to a garage. My concern is with the parking space and the side yard setback. It's not consistent with any of the development in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And I understand why you need to provide it, because you need to have the 2 parking spaces on your site. The way I would have preferred it to be met was the waiver granted for the garage and allow it to be used as 2 covered parking spaces, or designated as the 2 covered parking spaces required, and then leaving this as your side yard in the way it is right now.
Okay.
But that's up to transportation staff. And if you were to work it out with transportation staff in that this could be used as a 2-car garage, which in this instance it would entail more work because this porch
Right.
area encroaches into. So I understand all that. And if you were able to, go that route versus the providing the space here, the mod would still be valid because it's to change the use from the bedroom to the garage. I'm less concerned. Well, I still don't like this being provided here, but I realize it's a zoning ordinance allowance.
Right.
So I don't have a say in that at all. And I'm more comfortable with it in having this be the one car
Right.
garage door, making it really 1-car garage, and then the parking there.
Okay.
So, but I guess.
So that means just go back and discuss with transportation.
If the owner would like to do that, to not have to put this space in here, what would you need to do to allow the waiver just to be a waiver to have this be a substandard size? Because if you look at it, it's 19.3,
Right.
and the requirement's 20 feet.
Interior, right.
And it's this way. It's not this way. You have the 20 feet. Just the problem is this obstruction
Yeah, you
right
have the
here.
Overhang and all the landing and the landscaping and all that good
Yes.
stuff there.
Yeah. So I don't know. That may not even be a possibility.
Yeah,
but-
and I think one of the concerns was that the landing would get cut short, where we wouldn't even have a code
Yeah, and you couldn't
required
even-
landing
right.
spot. I think that was where I mentally
You went to-
went, and then
okay.
just aesthetically, the client thought they would just look better anyways with the smaller, and actually an 8.0 would even look better, I think.
Yeah, with the 2-car that just
Right,
gets over.
exactly. So I think overall it's agreeable. We can definitely talk again regarding this issue, but
Yeah.
as it stands, I think it's a good solution.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The mod would still be valid whether it was a 1-car or 2-car garage.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it and looking at the neighborhood.
Understood,
If
yeah.
there's some way that.
Right. Well, this was something new to me. I had not done something like this before on other projects, and and when I was reviewing the zoning stuff, that was the first time I had realized that we could actually go on the side yard and with the shrub heights and things like that. So
Right.
I wasn't shocked by it, but it was like, wow, okay, let's see what happens. So
Yeah, we allow the required parking. We wouldn't allow a guest parking there, so if this was the 2-car garage, we wouldn't allow that also because it's in the setback and you can't park in the setback. But, okay, well, I approve your project with that condition that the garage door would just be a 1-car garage door.
great.
And my action is appealable to the Planning Commission within 10 calendar days, and they have the oversight authority of all my actions, and if they felt this warrant discussion before them, they could call it up too.
Okay.
And if that were either of those instances would occur, Ms. Malazzo would contact you.
Great.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Sure. All right, our last item is 605 East De La Guerra Street. Good morning.
It's an extra set. The proposed project, which is about 7,500 square feet, is located on East De La Guerra Street. Current development on site consists of a triplex, 1, 2, 3 units, 2-story structure, with 4 parking spaces. During the course of a remodel, a small understory basement was actually expanded, and as it was dug out, its floor-to-ceiling dimension exceeded 5 feet, which therefore constituted floor area for purposes of identifying the floor area of this unit. The addition of the floor area required 1 additional parking space be provided for the site. The applicant came in proposing to add the additional parking space in this area, but the backup distance exceeded the 75 feet maximum that transportation staff would support. Using different formulas for parking demand on the site, it was determined that the 4 parking spaces still provide enough parking numbers to meet the demand of the current triplex. The applicant is asking for relief of the 1 additional space required by zoning. The required finding for a parking modification or number of parking space modification is that the demand for the project is being met. The standards say it's still 3 units and the 4 spaces are still providing adequate parking for that triplex. Therefore, staff can make the finding required for the modification that the demand is still being met on site and is asking for support of this project as it's proposed.
Okay, great, thank you. If you'd like to state your name for the record and add any additional comments.
My name's Roy Harthorn, agent for David Bolton.
And I'm David Bolton.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
We're here to answer questions. We did determine the bulk of the basement area was documented in a 1955 tax assessor, but due to repairs that were necessary, it was a timely opportunity to fill out the corners and to reconfigure the stair. The ceiling height was above 5 feet, and in fact, the contractor could walk unimpeded. He's 6 foot. The engineer who did the alterations to fill out the corners was about 5'8", and he could walk underneath the piping as well. So there was ceiling height down there. It's greater now, and that was again an opportunity based on the fact that there were excavations necessary for upstairs alterations that involved footings that had to be constructed in the basement. So this all kind of came about as part of the normal sort of field changes that are typical of a major remodel.
Now, this area per building code can't be used as a bedroom, right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else to add? No? Okay. Is there anybody here in the audience who would like to address the staff hearing officer on 605 East De La Guerra Street? Okay. If you'd like to come up and state your name for the record, and then before you leave, if you can fill out a request to speak form so we can have... Yeah,
Please.
that's fine. Yeah. And you can use the microphone right there.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
My name is Mark Ibarra, and I used to live at the property towards the end of 2004 until the end of about 2005, so for about a year. And I lived in the property, and we did use the basement. I, for example, am 6 feet tall, and I never had any problems getting down or walking around in the area. And it was a big space. Just so you know, we did use it for storage. I was living with 2 roommates at the time, so we had, as you can imagine, college guys, a bunch of stuff moving around. And it's actually nice to see the nice adjustments that have been made since then.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And have we received any? No, okay. So
None.
seeing no one else, I'll close the public hearing. I've read the staff report, and I met you guys out on the site yesterday. Thank you for taking the time out and showing me around the property. And you know, like I had said on the site visit, what I wanted to do is to look at the site to see if there was a way to provide the additional parking space. And I agree that the site, given the existing development and improvements, that there really isn't another place on the site where you can add another parking space without impacting the tree or the outdoor living area for the rear units. So the course would be to either, remove that space or to get a parking modification. And like Roxanne said, in order to support a parking modification, you need to show there's no impact on the on-street parking supply or loading space in the area. So having transportation weigh in on it and looking at the site development and number of units and that, and stating that the demand would not increase, that the existing 4 parking spaces on the site's adequate, that is justification to support the modification. So I can approve your request for the modification. And then also, the fact that it can't be used as another bedroom. It's a family room, or you had like a den type meditation room area. There's typically bedrooms, and rental units, you can put another person there, which does do the additional parking. So given the code restrictions too, I think that is another reason why the modification would be supportable. Okay, so I approve your project with, like Roxanne said, as submitted and no additional conditions. My action is appealable to the Planning Commission within 10 calendar days if anyone would like to appeal it. They also have oversight authority, as you heard me say. The other 2 projects over all my actions, and if they decide to call us up or if there was an appeal, Ms. Malazzo would contact you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I adjourn the meeting.
Is this a copy that comes back to us?